Hey guys, how are you doing? Debbie, great to see you. Phil, good to have you here as well. Brian, Karen, you'll absolutely love Brian. If you don't already know Brian, he's actually up there in Denver as well.
Oh, okay.
So
Fantastic.
yep. So he's the CEO and owner, founder, I think, of Cherry Home Inspections. So he's up there. He's I think he's within um, one or two of the business alliances up there. So he's been
Okay,
part of the HOA.com community up there for a while now.
great. Great to connect with you, Brian, and everybody else on here as well. Thanks for sharing this next hour or so with me.
Absolutely. And then we'll probably give it a couple more minutes, guys. We had about 30, 35 individuals registered for this call. Looks like there's only a few on right now. So I'm going to ask everybody to mute. If not, I'll go ahead and mute you, and then we can kind of kick it off. I'll give Karen a little introduction, and I'll let her take it away.
Sounds great. So before I get started, we have a sense of the different types of businesses that we have on here with us today. If you guys want to, in the chat, maybe just put your name and what type of business, profession that you're in. So I just want to make sure that I can, cater the conversation so you guys are able to relate to what I'm talking about.
And then we're still getting some people coming in. I'll probably give it another minute or two, and then we can jump right in. But yes, if you could throw that into the chat, that'd be awesome, guys.
Home inspection, mortgage. Okay, great. So a lot of what I'm going to be, kind of this conversation that we're going to have today is catered primarily for the real estate industry, but it applies literally to every type of business, especially if you are in the type of business that is interested in attracting the real estate profession. This works both ways. So you want to make sure you've got a pen and paper handy, because I'm giving you a lot of information in the next hour. So you can literally go back and apply tactically a lot of the things that I'm going to be teaching you in today's session. But I just wanted you not to get, swayed by the fact that a lot of what I have in the nomenclature and my slides is, speaking to those in the real estate industry. It absolutely is relevant to any industry. I just practice what I preach, which is know your niche, right? So my niche is the real estate industry, and that's who I primarily cater to as a real estate, as social media marketing coach and strategist. Hey, there's Kelly's in my area. I know Kelly. Hi,
Kelly.
beautiful. Love me some Kelly.
Love me some Karen. She's got all the good stuff.
Thank you. All right, should we go ahead and get started? Spencer, what you think?
Yeah, no, that sounds great. Let's go ahead and get started. For the new people who've just been joining, if you could, actually one more person, hold on. If you could, if you haven't already, drop your information in the chat. Let Karen know what industry you're in. She can make a couple examples based upon who's here with us today. Also, this meeting is being recorded, so if you have to jump or if you're having any audio quality issues or anything like that, we can always provide you the recorded link on YouTube as well. Yeah, before we get started, I mean, it's 5 after. Let's go ahead and get started. But before I give it everything, give you the keys to the kingdom, Karen, let me give you a quick introduction. So everybody, this is Karen Liz Albert. She is a social media strategist, expert speaker, and the owner of Behind Your Curtain. It's an all-in-one social media platform. Okay, guys. She's had over 25 years of experience in marketing, training, and consulting. which is awesome. That's a ton of experience there. She's
Make me
launched.
sound old.
Sorry about that. I mean, I just have some notes here, and so I wanted to make sure I hit them all. But you know, that's definitely being plenty of experience. So that's a great asset to have, right? She's launched targeted social media marketing campaigns for thousands of real estate professionals. You heard her talk just a little bit ago about the presentation she's about to give, and it is kind of geared more at the real estate industry, but should be able to be you know, put on your business, and you can take these little gems and these little tips and apply it to your business as well. Okay. This is one of my favorite stats about Karen. She has one of the, she has a 30-day social media facelift program that has helped over 25,000 real estate agents and led to over $100 million in sales. That is awesome. How is that over the 25-year span, Karen?
No, about 10 to 12.
10 to 12. That's still really impressive. So kudos to you on that. That's awesome.
Thank you.
I believe, Karen, you do offer educational programs and presentations, and you do have a program that you can help these individuals with as well through your social media, internet marketing efforts. Is that correct?
Yeah, absolutely. So the most popular one is the 30-day social media facelift. It, as I prefaced before, it really is applicable to any business. And it what that does is it just helps you craft a strategy. And then my team goes in and we literally do all of the work for you to optimize all of your social media brand and presence, so that not only do you look really good to the eyeballs that are checking you out, but we're doing a lot of this stuff to feed the algorithms and populate search engine data, keywords, hashtags, all of that kind of stuff. And then, you know, teach you really like some very focused, efficient, strategic ways to use platforms like Facebook and Instagram and LinkedIn to really help you to start to show up in front of the specific community that you really are wanting to attract as a result of using social media. And I touch on quite a bit of that whole strategic thinking in today's presentation as well. But the program, the facelift program, allows you to kind of take a lot of what you're learning here today. And, you know, I always love giving it to people. I'm a huge delegator, right? Let me do what I do best and give it to the experts that, you know, do it better than me.
Yeah, absolutely. That's awesome. That's amazing, Karen. I love that. Two other real quick things about Karen. I believe she's been featured in Inman magazine, which is also kind of that realtor real estate space. If you're in that real estate space, you've heard the word Inman before, inman.com, as well as Online Entrepreneur Magazine, which is super cool. And my favorite stat about Karen is that she's a lead singer in her local band up there in Denver. What's the name of that band again, Karen?
Littleton Station Band.
Littleton Station. Love it. Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like the yin and the yang, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to go ahead and turn it over, Karen. My year and a half old is starting to scream over there anyway, so I need to jump off on mute anyways. So I'll turn it over. You have the ability to share your screen. Feel free to do so, and enjoy, everybody. I'm super excited about today.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Spencer. I really appreciate the opportunity to be here with you guys. If you haven't seen it already, please go ahead and share your information, at least the business profession that you are in. As we did mention, a lot of what the presentation is going to primarily have the nomenclature around speaking to the real estate professionals, but everything I'm talking about today is absolutely applicable to really any business that is really wanting to maximize their use of social media and start to generate some leads, right? So that's what this is all about. And just a little bit of housekeeping, if you can make sure that you've got yourself on mute, so we're not disrupting anybody else on here, being polite. And then if you do have questions, certainly feel free to put those in the chat. I know Spencer will be my Vanna White today and monitor those, and we'll definitely leave some time before the end of the presentation to make sure that we've addressed all of your questions for you. All right, so let me go ahead and share my screen. How's that? Can you see that? Fantastic. All right, so let's go ahead and dive right in. You already know a whole bunch about me. I'm here for you guys. So let's go ahead and get started. So what I want to kind of talk about in the beginning is, I think what a lot of us tend to know why social media is important, and what tends to be true, there are things like that it absolutely can build credibility. If you know how to utilize the social media platforms, you will absolutely start to increase your exposure about you and your business. And there is so much information and data that is being gathered by these social media platforms. And if you know how to have access and leverage a lot of the data that is being monitored and stored by these platforms, it really helps you to see some tremendous success. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about that as well. It can absolutely generate leads, increase your marketing strategy visibility. So again, for those of you that are in real estate, there are things that your potential next client, or really for any of you, your next potential client is going to do some research about you. You don't want to discount that. There are over 2 billion users now on Facebook. So wouldn't you love to grab just like 1% of 1% of 1% of that?
Yes, please let me take
right?
1%.
Exactly. Yeah, just a little piece of that, right? So, and you don't want to discount the impact that your social media, either presence or lack thereof, has on the decision-making criteria and factor of your next potential client. I've had a lot of clients that have reached out to me and said, Karen, I need you to help me get my social media going, because they were told by that client that they lost the deal. They checked them out and they looked at them and they looked at Nancy, and Nancy's social media looked way more impressive to them. And so you don't want to discount the research that people are doing when they are checking you out. And then you also want to think about, what is the opportunity that you're giving your existing clients if they refer you to their friends and family members? They want to feel good about how you look as well, right? Because it's a reflection on them. So don't discount the impact that that has. And it could absolutely help you win that next deal or that next client. But, one of the things that I get all the time is they say, I understand what you're saying, Karen. I know that social media is important, but I'm on it and I cannot get it to work. Or I'm incredibly busy, right? I've got a couple of jobs, or I've got kids and a family, and I'm busy and it's life. And how in the world am I going to incorporate time to now add social media to my plate? Or they say, I'm actually on it all the time. I'm kind of a hamster in a wheel, and I'm just not seeing any return on my efforts. And I basically call that mistaking activity for progress, because you're not necessarily doing anything that is helping you accomplish a very specific goal. You're just kind of like, yep, posted, right? Checking that off your list. But was that actually helping you accomplish something specific? But the two components that are missing and tend to have you either fall into the category of hamster on the wheel, or I'm just avoiding it altogether, is one, not having a strategy, and two, not having the simple step-by-step instructions on how you can execute that strategy. So let me talk a little bit more about what I mean by strategy. And we're going to go through 8 hacks, that I call them, to help you really understand how you can start to use these social media platforms. And again, because my market is real estate agents, we know the market has shifted quite a bit, and agents are really looking for some new creative ways of being able to survive this market, because the reality of it is it's going to swing back, and you want to make sure that you are prepared and you are ready. But again, everything that I am teaching is absolutely relevant and applicable to any business. And as I mentioned in the beginning, if you have a business and you're interested in attracting those that are in the real estate industry, these hacks are fantastic for you if you just sort of are applying, the real estate as the ideal clients that you're wanting to attract, or your audience. So hack number 1 is really understanding and knowing your audience. And so what I mean by that is, let's forget about for a second that we're even talking about social media marketing. Let's just go back to marketing 101. And in every single marketing campaign that is crafted, every single marketing campaign is crafted knowing who the ideal client is that they are wanting to attract, meaning that you are never going to see the cover of a sugary cereal box being a mom doing yoga on the cover, right? That's not the demographic. So social media is no different. They are just platforms that you want to think about when you use them. You need to use them with an understanding of who it is you are wanting to attract as a result of using this social media. Who is your ideal, perfect client? And so an exercise that you could go through once you are off this webinar is you could kind of think about who are your top 10 perfect clients. So if you've been in the business for a while, write the names down of your perfect clients. So I mean, these are like, you have a relationship with them, they're repeat customers, they refer business to you a lot. You almost feel like you know them, you know stuff about their family, and they're your champions and your cheerleaders, and they support you as well. And so when you write the names of the top 10 down, then what I want you to look at is, do you see some similarities that are kind of bubbling up to the top of these top 10? This is a fantastic exercise to help you to really start to think about who your clients are that you've been attracting. Because I'll tell you, I've been doing this for over 12 years, and every time I have seen tremendous success in social media marketing, and crafting a strategy is like attracts like. So it's interesting what bubbles up to the top is a lot of times you might start to see a demographic or a type of business or client that kind of is similar to maybe you and your interests, and what we call demographics and psychographics. So demographics are things, that you're probably familiar with in terms of marital status, profession, age, race, gender. And then for those in real estate, a lot of times we talk about, are they the baby boomers? Are they transitioning in the second half of their life? Are they first-time home buyers? Are they relocating? So kind of look at the top 10 list and see if you see some similarities around the demographics. And then another component that's really fascinating is thinking about then the psychographics of this demographic. So what are their hobbies? Where do they like to hang out? Where do they spend their time? Right? This is all information that is incredibly helpful for you to start to become very, very strategic about your use of social media. Because once you get clear on who it is that you're wanting to attract, then you can also start to think about what is a problem that you can also solve for them. So start to kind of think out of the box. Just don't always be showing up as, this is my license, this is my profession, this is what I know how to do for you. But you could think about some other ways that you could be helping them with kind of a concern or a problem. In the real estate industry, maybe we talk a lot about maybe the first time home buyers are ones that feel like they just don't have good enough credit, or they don't have enough of down payment. Maybe that's information that you can help them with or eliminate that fear. Or maybe they just don't know where the best areas are to start out as a new homeowner. Or, if you are in an industry where you are wanting to help people with their finances, then, maybe it's not necessarily just pushing you as what it is that you do. It's more of thinking about information that you could be putting out there that might be addressing their concern. If you have access to resources that are maybe even outside of what you do, but knowing that you can pull in those resources to assist them, that also adds value to you as the resource that they are looking at. So kind of think again about what are some of the concerns or pains or problems that you could help them solve outside of what it is that you just traditionally do on a daily basis. And then when you get clear on the who, then you can also start to think about what are these other businesses. We call them power partners or referral partners. What are the other professionals? But also thinking about, what is information sources. There's magazines, blog articles, industry experts, influencers. So a lot of this is sort of thinking about, what is it that they are going to be interested in. And I'm going to tie all of this together for you. Like, okay, this is great, Karen, but how is this going to tie into social media? And so hold tight, because I'm definitely going to pull all of this in together for you on how we apply this to the world of things like Facebook and Instagram. And then I'll give you some examples. So this is a realtor that I worked with. He's based out of Los Angeles. He actually didn't have the experience. He was a new realtor. And so he didn't have the top 10 past clients that we could take a look at, but we did take a look at him because, again, like can attract like, right? So we discovered that he was a newlywed, and his new wife were absolute avid pet lovers. So they, fostered kittens and donated their time. And so we decided to brand him as Joe, the realtor for pet lovers. He took it one step further. So this is out of the box thinking, right? He took his Jetta and turned it in to for a 4Runner and converted the entire back of the 4Runner. We called it the Pet Lovers Caravan. So he had like the leashes and the treats and the water dishes. He even had cat carriers. He called me a couple of years ago and said, I literally took a cat looking at property. But because he was able to really brand himself as the realtor to pet lovers, then he took it upon himself to also know what were the best parks and the HOA breed restrictions and the best neighborhoods. And then if you look at the list on the right-hand side, these are the professionals that cater to that same demographic. So I taught him how to use his social media to not only get in front of all the pet lovers that are in his geographical area he wanted to attract, but also how to take his social media and connect with a lot of the other professionals that also cater to that demographic, right? So you've got the dog walkers and the groomers and the vets. And so it's a way of, again, sort of thinking outside of the box and expanding the source of value that you can start to bring. This is a chiropractor that I worked with, and he was struggling. He had been on social media, wasn't really seeing any real return on his efforts. We actually did the exercise with him. We looked at his top 10, and he discovered that he had actually been treating women between the ages of 55 and 75 that were suffering from fibromyalgia. So we actually created an offer, $100 unlimited treatments. We created landing pages. We used the top social media pages to get in front of that particular demographic. And then he basically tripled his business in 90 days. So again, the clearer you get on who, the easier it's going to be for you to start looking at using these social media platforms as more of a marketing, right, strategy and platforms for attracting that particular demographic. And then again, on the right-hand side, you can see the other types of businesses that he started to reach out and create relationships and leverage the referrals from other businesses that also were helping and treating the women in this demographic with fibromyalgia. And then one more example for you, because I think, these examples just really kind of bring it home for everybody. But this is Sandy. She's a realtor out in Dallas. And she, again, took it one step further because out of our exercise, she discovered that she had been servicing all of these single moms with little kids. Well, guess what she was? Single mom with little kids. And so she took it one step further, and she actually hired a bonded licensed babysitter. Because she was like, I get your problem. How are you going to get this home ready and look beautiful for showings that you got these kids all running around? Or how are you going to find the time to go look at listings if you've got these little kiddos that are, yanking at you all the time? So they were able to stay with the licensed babysitter while she was able to actually, take them around and help them with their real estate. And she has now expanded it. She does pamper spa days and mom's night out and all of that. And then again, the list on the right-hand side, who are the businesses that also cater to the demographic that she's wanting to attract. So hopefully this is starting to get some of the wheels spinning and turning for you and starting to really think about who it is that you ideally want to attract for your business and increasing the generation of leads. And I'll tell you, I get this question or concern a lot also, which is, okay, Karen, I understand that you're saying that I should focus on a particular niche or, community and demographic, but that's not just the only person that I want to attract and service as well. And I totally understand that. However, if you are trying to, attract everybody, you're not being seen. So you have to, and this goes into hack number 2, you have to feed the algorithms in the platforms with the information that it is needing so that it can start to help you be seen in front of a particular demographic. So whenever you're using any social media platforms, there's two markets that you want to make sure that you are always taking in consideration. There's the market that knows about you, so friends and family members, right, and followers. And then there's the market that doesn't know about you. So those are the users out there that might have an interest in what you have to offer, or the niche that you're wanting to attract. And the one component that controls how you show up in social media in front of either one of these markets is the algorithm. So every social media platform has something that's called an algorithm. It's a formula, it's written, it's running behind the scenes. And every algorithm has one goal. And that goal is to make sure that it keeps the user community happy. Because if they're not happy, then they start to leave. So the way that it ensures that it keeps the user community happy is by ensuring that the information that shows up on the news feed of every single user is right in alignment with what that user has an interest in. So you and I are dictating all day long what we see show up on our news feed, because we tend to post about or engage with content that's very much in alignment with what our interest is, right? So once the algorithm kind of gets a sense of what a user has an interest in, because it is very big brother, we are being monitored, people. You just got to get over it. It's Zuckerberg spending billions of dollars on predictive behavior analytics. And we know this to be true now. Our phones are even listening to us now, or you go search for a pair of shoes. Guess what's on your newsfeed when you come back? So there is a lot of big brother and data that is being mined about us. But if you know how to leverage that data, that is when you can really start to see some return on your efforts. Because when the algorithm gets a sense of what a user has an interest in, it then goes and scans the millions of business pages, looking for business pages that produce content that it thinks might be right in alignment with what a particular user or user community has an interest in. But the challenge is that most of us tend to use our social media pages to be kind of all about us and an everything to anybody. And the algorithm doesn't have a profile called an everybody. So that's why we're going to go back to step one. Hack number one is know your audience. And again, it doesn't mean that if you decide to just want to attract realtors or a specific type of community, single moms or golfers or vegetarians, it doesn't mean that you won't show up in front of the others. What it means is that you will really start to become visible to that particular demographic. And then you can start to expand your strategy and incorporate some of these other niches as well. But again, if you're spreading yourself too wide and too thin, you're just not going to be seen at all. So helping feed the algorithm with the information, that is really what's going to help you start to become visible. And so what happens is when the algorithm goes and scans your Facebook business page, there's 5 questions that it's looking to get answers to: who you are, what you do, how you do it, who you do it for, and where you do it. And the number 4 and 5, the who you do it for and the where you do it, those are the 2 questions that tend to get neglected the most, because we'll spend a whole lot of time talking about who we are and what we do and how great we are at doing it. But we don't spend enough time talking about who we do it for and where you do it. If you go to any of my social media platforms, it's obnoxious how many times you're going to see the word real estate, realtor, real estate professional, real estate industry, social media for realtor. And that's not because I can't help everybody. I just really want to help the algorithm know who it is that I want my content to start to show up in front of.
So Karen, it sounds like you're talking about like a social profile optimization, almost like an SEO for your social profile, making sure that you have the right target keywords and target demographics of who you're trying to service right there in your profile, right?
Exactly. And that is a perfect segue into the next slide, because there are 3 specific places that the algorithm goes and looks for the answers to those 5 questions. The 3 primary places that you want to make sure that you are giving the algorithm the answers is Number one, which is the name that you have of your business page. So make sure you're at least identifying who you are and what you do. And if geography is relevant to where you do it as well, then you could add that in the name. And then number two and number three are the descriptions that you've given to your profile picture and your header banner picture. Probably 99% of you will go and look at the description of either one of these pictures, and you probably don't have anything in there, and that's fine because you didn't know. But what you really want to make sure is that you have packed in almost a social media bio, answering the 5 questions for the algorithm, and put those in the description there. And the other thing too, kind of a side note, is this header banner image that you have on your Facebook business page is an incredible opportunity for you to be communicating a lot more information to the visitors of your page. So Alan is a realtor that went through my 30-day social media facelift program. And, you know, all he had on his header banner picture was a picture of a house. And that's really common. But look at how much more we're communicating. He is an accredited military relocation professional. You can tell that by now looking at the graphics that we have put in this banner image. So take an opportunity to communicate a lot more to your visitors of your page when you go and think about what you could be adding to your banner header image on your page. And then also this is another business that also part of HOA, Seed Money Consulting, that's located here in Denver, Colorado. They went through the facelift program. And, you know, again, you see how much more is being communicated. It's very professional, all their contact information there, all the services that they provide are being communicated. And then we also wrote out their whole social media bio and made sure that we populated all the information there. But do, you know, for yourselves, for those of you that are DIYers and you want to go back and apply all these changes, by all means, just make sure that you're answering all of those 5 questions and putting that content in the description of the profile picture and the header banner image on your pages as well.
So quick question on that, Karen. Do you know if there's a character count on the description, and also I'm
There is
assuming
not.
from an SEO perspective, saving your images as a primary keyword is probably a good indicator as well?
Yep. So there's no character, maximum character limit. And yep, if you save your images, make sure that you do have them saved with keywords, not just image3.jpg, which is common, right? Because we don't know what we don't know. Okay, so hack number 3 is what I call packing your newsfeed. So newsfeed, when it comes to your Facebook business page, is you're all probably I'm going to assume everybody on here has a personal Facebook account. And you're all familiar that when you go into your Facebook, the first page that you are taken to always is your homepage, which is your newsfeed. And the post that you see on your newsfeed, when you're logged in as your personal Facebook account, you're seeing all of the posts from all of your Facebook friends. There might be some sponsored paid posts in there as well. But that's what you're generally seeing is all of the posts from your friends list. Well, you have the exact same thing that is available to you, but instead of you seeing all of the posts from your Facebook friends, you're going to see all of the posts from the other business pages that you like and follow as your business page. So that's an important thing to keep in mind. I'm not talking about going into Facebook and finding a bunch of other business pages and clicking the like button as your individual Facebook user. Facebook over the past year launched an entire new business page interface. And what that means is that they took the personal Facebook interface and they cloned it. And so now you have the ability to work in Facebook as your individual Facebook user or work in Facebook as your business page. Everything that I'm teaching you here, I want you to do as your business page. So it's just, there's a switch feature now that you have to do, that you just switch between your personal Facebook accounts interface layout and your business page. You don't need to log out, log in again. It's all one login as your personal, but you have the ability to then switch over to your business page. And when you switch over to your business page layout, you are now engaging as your business page, not as your individual personal Facebook user. Because the whole goal here is to increase visibility and awareness of you as a business, not as a person, right? So always make sure that you are switching over to your business page and following the instructions that I'm going to teach you here. So to really maximize and pack in your Facebook business page newsfeed, which is by clicking on this house icon that you see has the moving circle at the top, there's a few different types of businesses that you want to search for and follow in business in Facebook. One is, think about the businesses that you work with. So any that you have a relationship with, if you've got clients that have businesses, you should absolutely be liking and following every single one of those business pages. If you are in a business that you utilize other services, so for realtors, a lot of other services are things like, photographers and loan officers and title. And so seek out the businesses that you have a relationship. If you are a loan officer, you absolutely should be following all of the agents that you work with, and also consider following all the agents that you want to work with. Because once you go to their page and you click the like or follow button, then every time you come to your news feed on your business page, you're going to see all of the posts that they've done. So it pulls in all the posts from all of these other business pages right into this one single feed. And so it gives you the opportunity to engage with all of those posts as your business page. So every time you like or comment or share on a post, the originator of that post will get notified that you have liked or commented. But again, don't do this as your personal Facebook account, because that's not helping you. You want to switch over and make sure you're doing it as your business account, because your business account is going to have the full name of your business. So search out the businesses that you have a relationship with. Also search out what we call content providers. So this goes back to knowing who it is you're wanting to attract. So think about the information that would be on the news feed of your clientele that you're wanting to attract. This isn't information that you're interested in. This is information that they're interested in. And so again, if you are wanting to attract those that are golfers, then seek out the golf pages and follow those pages, because the minute you follow those pages, your newsfeed is going to start to get populated with relevant content from those pages. And so it just makes it a lot easier for you to share content onto your business page that is not all about you, right? It's more about content that's going to be of interest to this particular demographic. And then the third type are your local businesses. So if you're a business that is very focus and local centric. So you, like, again, realtors, they are very geographically focused on their business. So find a lot of the popular local businesses that you can follow, so you can start to see posts about what's going on in your area. And one of the other things that I love is this hack is, if you really want to dominate your local community and kind of show up not just as, hey, I'm all about me and posting all about what you do all the time, but maybe adding some value about what's going on in your local community. Every single local community has what's called a places page in Facebook. And so it's as simple as going into Facebook and just typing in the city and state. And then on the filter on the left-hand side, you'll see a places filter that you can click on. And then on the right-hand side, it tends to be the top results. And that is a link that's going to take you to the places page in your local geographical area. And the thing that I love about the places page is it's literally telling you everything that's going on in that local area. So you'll see the top section of the places will say where to go, and it's broken out by shopping and nightlife. And, if you want to go and look at special places for being outdoors, it's going to give you the business pages, and not just any business pages. These are the business pages that are being monitored and followed by the algorithm. So that means they have high engagement, they have good content, They've got a lot of followers. And then the other section you get is upcoming events. So, you know, hey, if you're wanting to like say, hey, there's some really fun thing for kids that are going on, or again, if you're wanting to attract those that are in golf, find the events in the area that are relevant to golf. And then you can share those events right onto your business page. And then there's groups. So groups are also a fantastic way. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about groups that you want to join as well. But this section I love because this section is broken down by interest. So you could find groups that are catering to the vegans or the vegetarians, or those that are the, you know, single moms, or the golfers, or those that are interested in, you know, the maybe newlyweds. There's what am I trying to say? Like the wedding industry, there's private groups in there as well. So this is a fantastic page to bookmark and definitely spend time on if you are one that really wants to be aware of what it is that's going on. For realtors, it's really important for you to show up as one that has their finger on the pulse of what's going on in your local community. And this page is a fantastic way of doing that.
So what I'm hearing is follow local businesses, follow, comment yourself as a business,
Yeah.
comment business, and join these places pages as your business, and kind of what I'm getting at, and I think it's starting to come together for a lot of the audiences. You guys are starting to train the algorithm and tell the algorithm exactly who you are and where you are and what you're interested in.
Exactly. Yeah. And then finding content that you can start to, you know, repurpose, right, and share onto your business page that is going to help you to add value when your content shows up on the newsfeed. Because think about the very first thing I said when it comes to the algorithm. It doesn't care about you, it cares about the user community. And so if all you're doing is posting stuff on your page that's all about you and doesn't really get a whole lot of engagement, the algorithm is not paying attention to you. So you have to shift that. You've got to start to get the attention of the algorithm. And the best way to do that, and this is how I've been so successful for doing this for businesses and realtors for 12 years, the best way to do that, to get the attention of the algorithm, is to start posting content that is more relevant to the community you're wanting to attract than just all about you. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So the places page is a fantastic area for you to be able to just kind of go and visit, right? And you don't have to like rack your brain. What am I going to post today? There's so much content out there that's already being given to you. You do not have to be the originator of your own content. In fact, you know, 50% of what the algorithm looks at when it comes to a business page is, does your content add value to the community? But the other 50% is, are you a business page that actually supports other businesses? So when you are going and you are liking and commenting and sharing posts from other business pages, that's actually how you're getting the attention and a little bit more favoritism from the algorithm as well. Because if all you're doing is going on and just posting and then walking away, that's pretty selfish, right? These are social platforms, social media. So it's a give and take. It's a quid pro quo. So you got to think about what can you be doing to support others on the social media platform as well.
And really that creates engagement, right? And shows as
right.
the expert in your industry of what you, with whether you're in the mortgage real estate industry or painting, plumbing, whatever the industry is, that engagement will show and show those algorithms, hey, you know your stuff. You're not just grabbing information, or you're not just promoting yourself over and over and over. You're engaging. Exactly.
Yeah. And one of the clients that I had in the past that was actually a property inspector, and he was not seeing very much return on his efforts, and he was doing a whole bunch of stuff and pictures about property inspection, which is great because that just supports that he knows what he's doing, right? But that's not being seen by anybody, because unless you're searching for that person, that's the only time he's going to be seen. So how do you start to show up and be seen by the community before they're interested in knowing you. And so he was a newlywed himself and had a brand new little boy who was so gregarious and was like so busy and visible. And he literally just started taking video of his kid, but he incorporated it into the inspection part of the home, right? So he would like take his little kid, and if he was looking at electrical sockets or whatever, and having his kid like pretend like his kid was going to get like electrocuted kind of thing, he got really creative about it. And those things went viral. And it was just a way of, how do you put content that is not this just bland stuff that's all about you, right? But how can you do stuff that's going to be kind of fun and creative, and get the attention? So it doesn't have to just be you posting all about you all the time. Get the attention. And then when they are like, oh, I need a realtor, or, oh, I need a property inspector, they're not going to have to go far to find you because you're top of mind and showing up on their newsfeed all the time. So, groups are another fantastic way for you as your business to become visible to members of Facebook groups. So up until now, we've been talking a lot about business pages. There's a difference between business pages and groups. So business pages, you can go to a page and see all the information that's being posted on there. It's wide open to all Facebook users. Groups are different in that you can't really see anything that's going on in the group unless your request to join has been accepted. And then once you're in that group, then you will be able to see all of the posts and engage as your business page as a member of that group. But here's the strategy is don't go join a whole bunch of groups that's relevant to your industry. That's just going to put you in front of a bunch of your competitors, which is fine if that's, you're doing it just more for like information and education for yourself and your profession. But from a marketing perspective, to help you get in front of the right demographic, then you want to seek out and join groups that are relevant to the niche that you're wanting to attract and also the local area. And it's simple to find them. It's just like searching for the places page. You go into Facebook, go into the search box, put in some keywords. Again, I'm in Denver. So if it was a Denver real estate, Denver realtor, right? Those are the groups that I want to join because that's my ideal clientele. And then once you join, you have a news feed for your groups that you're a member of. So the icon that's being circled up here at the top, the difference instead of the home icon, which is going to show you posts from the pages you have followed, the groups icon is going to show you the posts from the groups that you're a member of. And again, we don't want to join any of these groups as our personal Facebook individual user. We want to join these groups as your business page. And so that way, when you join these groups as your business page, every time you like and comment and share, you will be doing that as your business page. And that's the name that will appear in front of all of the members. So this is the whole goal here is marketing, right? Marketing for your business, not you as an individual. Hack number 6, there's 8 of these, by the way. So, just from a timing perspective, Spencer, I am aware that we're about 10 minutes before, so I'll kind of rush through these because if anybody's got some questions, I want to make sure that I give them some time as well. So hashtags. Hashtags are words or single words that have been strung together, or multiple words that have been strung together with a pound sign in front of them. Hashtags are really, really effective and helpful in helping you show up in front of this particular community. Hashtags used to be, everybody said, oh, I thought that was only a Twitter thing when you tweeted or just Instagram, but no, it has expanded across all the social media platforms, even LinkedIn. And the benefit of having a strategic list of hashtags in your posts is that it in Facebook and Instagram and LinkedIn, every single hashtag has their own dedicated page, and it shows every single post that contains that particular hashtag. So there's a maximum of 30 that you can use in every single one of your posts. And the strategy is that you want to use a percentage of hashtags that are relevant to you and what you do, and then a percentage that's relevant to who you do it for. And then if geography is important, then use some hashtags relevant to where you do it as well. You know, a lot of realtors that I work with, they'll do a lot of hashtags that are just all about real estate. Well, that's fine, except that the only other, you know, community you're showing up in front of is your competition. And that's not the goal here. We want to have you start to show up in front of the community that you want to attract. And so this example is hashtag Denver Mom. This is an example if you are, regardless of whatever profession, but maybe moms are who you want to attract. So start using that hashtag in your post. Don't just make it all about you, but then you can also visit these hashtag pages. And when you like or comment or share on the posts that are, you know, showing up on this hashtag page, you're doing that as your business page. So it's just one other area that you can start to show up in front of this particular specific community. So hashtags for your niche, hashtags for your local community as well, if that's something that's important to you as well. And I think I mentioned it, but again, just to make sure, you can only do 30. So you could do 30 hashtags in a post at the time. And so what I'm talking about is when you write the caption for your post, just go down to the bottom, kind of hide them down there and put in the 30 at the bottom of the post. And then your post will not only show up on your business page, but it'll show up on every single one of those hashtag pages as well. So hashtags help your content be seen, but they also help you go and find content that you can engage with as well.
So Karen, real quick, I know I have some questions, and I know you're not done, but I want to inject this real quick.
Mhm.
I know we're allowed up to 30, but
Yep.
I mean, do we do 30 every time, or is there a sweet spot? Has it been tested? Should
Mhm.
you? I've heard things about 8, no more than 8, so the post isn't a mile long. What are your thoughts there?
Yeah, so it used to be, and it's not anymore, but it used to be that you really didn't want to use a whole lot of hashtags. But now, because the platforms have all embraced and incorporated functionality associated to hashtags, you want to utilize as many as you can because it doesn't harm you. But what you don't want to do is just do a post and then toss a whole bunch of hashtags in the caption of it, right? That you want to write caption and just kind of push your hashtags down towards the bottom so they're kind of hidden, because you're not doing hashtags for the eyeballs that are reading the post. You're really doing them for just getting reach and exposure and search engine, right? So don't be shy. Don't feel like you just got to put in 8 or it's going to be too much. Take advantage of it because it's just increasing your reach and exposure. Okay, hack number 7 is Reels. So Reels is something that is absolutely what the algorithm is giving preferential treatment to right now. And I'm sure you've all been sucked into watching some of them. They are short and sweet. And if you can get creative with them, then that's the best. And they are just short little videos. And in the Facebook mobile app, Instagram mobile app, you can go in and create reels and add reels. And so if you're thinking of doing a video, that's okay, but make sure that you add it in the platform as a reel, not just a post and a video. You can put it in the post as well, but make sure you've also added it as a reel because it's going to get you exponentially much more reach and exposure. And so, you know, if you've got something kind of interesting or exciting that you're wanting to share, you could give it a little hook, like make them wait till the end to watch it, to get whatever the hook is. And, you know, don't make it too complicated, but the other is kind of a fine line, right? Because you kind of want it to be too much that they have to watch it again, because the more times people watch it, the algorithm's going, oh, people are watching this more and more and more. They're hanging out and watching and hitting play again. And that's the stuff that the algorithm is looking at and says, oh, this must be of interest to the community because they've watched it more than once. And then there's also something that you can add, which is called trending audio. And so the trending audio actually really helps. So this is like background music or a song or something that you can add to it. And if the reel starts to get attention, your reel will actually show up on the trending audio Facebook reel page as well. So just another way to kind of increase that reach and exposure. And then lastly is stories. So I'm sure we've all gotten sucked into looking at people's stories as well. It's like, oh my gosh, is there another place where we could be putting, you've got your posts and then you've got your reels and then you've got your stories. If you have to choose, because you're limited on time, it's definitely reels number 1, stories is number 2, and then posts is number 3 in terms of what's going to get you the most reach and exposure. But stories are where, when you've been on the platform and you kind of see them across the top of your news feed. In Instagram, they're the circles across the top, and they are just anywhere from like 20 to 60 seconds of someone that is putting up a little video or a picture of something. But people kind of get a little confused about how should we be using stories, and really it's kind of like what I was saying about the post. It should not be all about you. Share other people's content into your stories. These are all realtors that have gone through my program, and what I've taught them is find other people's content, just like going to your places page, right? Or looking at information, events that are going on, and just start tossing other people's content into your stories, because that is, again, you being one that adds value, and you're also supporting the other businesses. And the thing is when you share what's being circled here, these stories, these are the names of the originator of the post. So you can't strip away a post from another Facebook user. Their name is always going to go with it. Plus, they get notified that you shared their post into your story. And it's just another way for you to add relevant information that's just not all about you. But if you start to continuously share other people's content, then the community is going to kind of start to pick up on that. They'll want to look at your stories. And it's all about the algorithm. The algorithm sees that you are one that posts relevant information. If it's getting likes or shares or comments, then that is stuff that's going to still start to help increase your reach and exposure. And then what happens is your story, every time you add one, is going to be the first thing that shows up right at the top of the news feed for your community. So it's just kind of another hack of how do I show up right in front of my community in a way that isn't just falling flat or a tree falls in the woods kind of a scenario. So just to recap, we talked about step 1, who is it that you want to attract? And then feed the algorithm by going in, finding all of the relevant business pages, and then pack your news feed so you can go and find content that you can engage with as your business page, share onto your page, go to your local places page and really find out what's going on in the local area so you can share content that's relevant, join the Facebook groups relevant to step number 1, your audience, create your strategic list of hashtags, consider reels, consider adding to your story, sharing other people's information into your story. And then the little note that I have down at the bottom is if you start to do all of this, you will absolutely start to become that shiny object and start to get attention. What I usually say is, make sure that you clean your house before you invite the party guests over. So take some time in optimizing your pages, make them look really good, make them look impressive, and then start to become that shiny object, because there's nothing worse than you starting to be seen and then people start to take a look at you and they're just not impressed with what it is that they see when they show up there. Hence the whole reason for me creating the 30-day social media facelift was there was a lot of companies that I was working with and I was like, let's clean this up first before we really start to get you to be seen. And so that's really everything that we do as a part of that program is we help you get clear on number 1, and then we clean your house first, and then we teach you how to do all of this other stuff to really start to, show up and become relevant. So if this is of interest to any of you, if you need more help with that, my website is behindyourcurtain.com. You can go right on there. There is an opportunity to schedule a free consultation call with me. I can take a look at what you've got going on, take a look at your social media pages. And if you just have some questions or some guidance and you need that, some help, feel free to go ahead and schedule that time with me. So we have 1 minute.
Yeah, we have 1 minute, but no, Awesome job, Karen. That was amazing to listen to. Super excited about what you brought to the table for everybody today. If you have any questions, go ahead and raise your digital hand through Zoom if you could. While you're finding that, I do have a question. A little
Sure.
bit. I got a couple questions about hashtags. I know that you can do a hashtag list at the end of the post, but
Mhm.
does adding hashtags inside of your content, like a contextual link or like a hashtag inside of your content, does that have any effect or impact on the algorithm either?
What, I'm not sure I understand when you say inside the contextual content, are you talking about the actual copy that you write
Yeah.
for the post?
Yep. So instead of saying, "Hey, Denver moms," question mark or
Oh, gotcha.
comma, and then your message, if you just hashtagged right there inside of the content, does that have any higher impact?
Not from the algorithm's perspective, no, but if you're already writing it, doesn't hurt for you to then just go ahead and turn that into a hashtag at the same time. So either place definitely adds value, but one does not take preferential treatment over the other.
Perfect. And Cecilia, is that how I pronounce it? Is do you have a question as well?
Yes, I just was not sure in Facebook how you switch over from the personal to the business, if that's through the settings, or how is
Oh.
that done?
Yeah, it's right in the, let me hop in there really quickly for you. I'll just show you real quick. It's in the
Okay.
upper right-hand corner. When you are in Facebook, you're gonna by default you're gonna enter Facebook as your personal. And up here in the right-hand corner, you see your profile picture. If you click on that, it's gonna give you the option to see all profiles, and then you can just toggle over. The other way is if you go to your business page, so you might see a link up here on the right-hand side. So when you go to your page, you're also going to see the request to switch. If you see that. Now,
Okay.
clicking that switch unfortunately doesn't switch you. What it does is it just leads you up over here to switch over to your profile. But this and another good point and tip that I give is do not have the same profile picture on your business and your personal, because that could be confusing, right? Am I in my business page or am I in my personal layout? So I can always tell the difference because I have a black and white picture for my personal and I have this color picture on my business. So when I switch over, I can see which one I'm using there.
And to that
Okay,
note, it
great.
might get
Yeah.
confusing for the users, for your audience as well, right? They think they're reaching
Right.
out to your business page or seeing your business stuff, and they're seeing your personal. So
Mhm.
agreed on that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I know I still have one more question, but I want to open it up. I know we're 2 minutes after. Does anybody else have any questions for Karen while we have her? Going once, twice. Oh, I see. Nope. Okay. My final question to close out the meeting is hashtag finders. How do I find, or how do the individuals on this call or watching this presentation
Mhm.
find the top rated hashtags that can get in front of a larger number of people rather than just a couple hundred?
So there's a couple of different things that we do when we are creating the list for my clients. We will actually, and it's a little more labor intensive, but that's why you hire us to do it, is we're actually going to the hashtag pages in Facebook and Instagram, and we're looking at what actually has the volume and the engagement right on there. So those are ones that are considered trending. And then you can also use tools. So there's something called Hashtagify. And that is one that you can go and put in that'll give you what's trending. I have found that it's probably about 75% accurate, because we'll still go in and follow up and look to see and go to the pages. You may think that there's a hashtag that is so perfect but check it out, like visit the pages in Facebook and Instagram. And if there's not a lot of content and not a lot of engagement, I would move on and use another one in the 30, since we are maxed at 30.
Awesome. Great.
makes
Thank you
sense.
so much for the input. Thank you
Mhm.
again, Karen, for coming. Debbie is asking in the chat if if these guys can get your information. I think all of your information is at behindyourcurtain.com. Is that correct?
Yeah, I just tossed it all in there. Yep.
Okay, perfect. So,
You got
there's
that.
Karen's contact information. I won't say her phone number out loud in case creepers are listening to the recording, but you can get her information there. But if you want to contact Karen, go to behindyourcurtain.com and let her know. But thank you again, Karen. It was awesome. Thank you so much for being here
Yes,
and
my
carving some
pleasure.
time out for us in the HOA.com community. And until next time, thanks guys for showing up.
Love
And
to all of
we'll
you.
see-
Thanks so much. Appreciate the time.
Thanks, guys. Bye.